So I saw Marvel's Werewolf by Night last week, and I've actually been thinking about it ever since. When I first watched it, I wasn't necessarily blown away, really, but I'm gonna be honest, I kept thinking about it and I kept thinking about it, and there's a reason I think personally that I really ended up liking this little TV mini movie that they did. The reason I enjoyed this movie as much as I did is that it seems to me like Marvel is finally experimenting with going in different directions with some of their projects. Now, this has been a complaint of mine for a long time, which is that too many Marvel films all feel the same. All the characters talk the same, everybody has the same sense of humor, they all follow the exact same structure. Now, to be fair, the Marvel formula works. They make billions of dollars, everybody goes to see the movies. You could give somebody like Thor 4 movies and people will go see all of them. So the Marvel strategy is working. But I will say, based on the reaction to Werewolf by Night, when you compare it to some of the more recent Marvel films, it seems like for the first time we're seeing a shift where people are finally starting to prefer when Marvel takes things in a different, more unique direction. Now, there's a part of me that's genuinely curious, like what Marvel's average viewer breakdown is, because when I watched Werewolf by Night, I did not know any of the people in this TV movie. I did not know what Man-Thing was, certainly never heard of the werewolf character, and it was really interesting to see how they introduced these characters into the MCU. But I think this is one of the bright spots when you've already seen Marvel use all of their much more well-known characters, at least the ones that they've had the rights to for the last several years. Now we've reached the stage in the MCU where they're introducing just weirder and weirder and much less known, less popular characters. One of the things that's exciting about this is that there was a time when Iron Man was not a very popular character, and Marvel took a risk giving him his own film and then his own franchise and then making him basically the leader of the Avengers for a while, and it paid off. Iron Man is now one of the most popular superheroes in the entire superhero genre. So seeing them start to give some of these other characters a little bit more screen time, it's exciting because you never know who might be the next Iron Man. A Werewolf by Night has a lot of those old school classic horror vibes. There is a really strong sort of Frankenstein vibe to this, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed how different it felt. I enjoyed the fact that the entire thing is in black and white. It gives it that retro feel. But most importantly, this shit is violent as hell. When Werewolf by Night starts out, it's not anything crazy, and it just sort of seems kind of goofy, and you sort of understand where the story's headed. But then, towards the last 10 minutes of Werewolf by Night, this gets so violent, like Mortal Kombat fatality types of violence. And it's honestly just exciting to see an MCU property that's getting to sort of be itself. If that makes sense. The whole thing's in black and white. They are using so much blood. It is actually astounding that they were allowed to do all this. I know that it's because it was in black and white, but still, with Deadpool 3 on the horizon and Wolverine showing up, especially what Wolverine did in Logan, it is good to see that there is a chance that we see a lot of violence in upcoming MCU projects. And overall, it's just really cool to see that Marvel is finally starting to shift, because it seems like, at least more recently, some of the projects where they're finally starting to go outside the box and sort of get away from the usual formula, those are being received really well. And a lot of the more formulaic projects that they've done recently, like Thor, Love and Thunder, was absolutely panned because it was too much of old Marvel. And so as a fan, it's exciting to see them finally not being afraid to sort of experiment with these different ways to make these different projects feel a little bit more unique. Now, I do not know if we will be getting more Werewolf by Night projects. I do not know if there'll be another one next year. I don't know if Marvel's going to sort of lean into maybe doing a few more of these TV movies for Disney Plus, because I think that would actually be pretty cool, especially as a way to introduce lesser known characters that people like me, who are definitely on the more casual side of an MCU fan, are able to learn about these characters that in the event that they maybe show up in different projects, can be excited to see them again. If you're someone who's been a little bit disillusioned by the more recent Marvel projects, this is one that you definitely want to check out. It's a lot more violent and a lot more bloody than all of the previous MCU projects, but this is a really exciting step for the MCU, and I'm excited to see where things go from here.